Good morning. Welcome back for the new term. Welcome to 2021. And unfortunately, welcome to this new lockdown and all that means. However, we have more than coped in the previous lockdowns, and I know that we will rise together to the challenge presented by the next few weeks. So this morning, I want to talk to you about three things: a tattoo, something that's carved in our kitchen, and my brother. I'm going to start with the third of these first. For me, the last Friday before we broke up was a relatively ordinary day, and then at lunchtime my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, phoned me to say that my brother had collapsed whilst taking his car for a service. As you might expect, I was really shocked and surprised to hear this. My brother is a couple of years younger than me, fitter than me, and he's never had any health problems. He got married just over a year ago, and he and his wife have a baby who is just a few months old. However, I did what I thought was the most appropriate, which was to go and eat lunch in the dining hall. Then, sometime later, when I'd finished my Friday fish and chips, my sister-in-law phoned again, really quite worried. By this time, my brother had been taken to hospital, and the doctor had told her that he was in a critical condition and that it was important that we went to the hospital straight away. I drove around the M25 to the hospital, where the doctor explained that a major artery in my brother's heart had ruptured and that he needed to have an operation immediately at a London hospital, but there was a chance he could die. Minutes later, he was put in an ambulance and we drove up to London. We waited for what seemed like ages, but wasn't, in a corridor, and at 5:30 my brother was wheeled past to have his major operation. We did manage to speak, and he said just 6 words to me from his trolley: look after my wife and look after their baby daughter. And then he was wheeled away, off to the operating theatre, and at that point I really did wonder if I would ever see him again. As siblings should be, my brother and I are very close. He was my best man and I was his. He's godfather to our boys, and I was godfather to his baby daughter at her christening, which took place virtually just 5 days before all this happened. And the shock of thinking what might happen to him really was a shock. The doctors spoke to his wife and I and told us about the operation to repair the ruptured artery and a valve in his heart and whatever else they needed to do. They inspired confidence. They were calm, but they stressed that it would be a big operation lasting 5 hours. We went home and waited, and 10 hours later, at 3:30 in the morning, my sister-in-law was phoned to say that the operation had been more complicated than thought. The surgeon said it was a right mess in there, presumably a medical term, but my brother had got through it. He'd survived. There was a huge sense of relief, and then over the days that followed, we waited for my brother to wake up and to see if he was okay. He was in intensive care, and because of COVID, no one could visit. We were allowed to phone, and a nurse would hold a phone to his ear. We took it in turns and talked about all sorts of things, but it's very hard to talk at someone when there's no flicker of response at all. But we hoped that perhaps this just might be of some comfort to him and just might help him. By Christmas Eve, there'd been some erratic movement, an occasional opening of the eyes, and then we were told that there'd been a problem. My brother had to have more surgery, and at that stage I think we all feared the very worst. But then, a day or two later, my brother opened his eyes, and then there was a little movement. We started speaking to him on FaceTime, and the first time I saw him, a whole variety of tubes plugged into his body which was fighting to draw oxygen from the ventilator. I don't mind admitting I was very shocked and upset. But the improvement has continued, and although 4 weeks later he's still in intensive care, we think he is going to be okay. He can't speak yet because his breathing tube is below his vocal cords, but he's starting to be able to communicate with us. We hope he might come out of intensive care in the next week or two and eventually go home and start living life as normal again. I should say at this point that I am beyond amazed at the quality of care that he's had in intensive care. Skillful, attentive care by kind professionals who together have quite simply saved my brother's life, with all that means for his family. It could easily have been so different, and I know tragically there are families, Chigwell families, who haven't been so lucky. We've also been so touched by the number of people knowing what has happened, have shown genuine concern and real kindness for my brother, and indeed all of us. There really are some very good, thoughtful people in our community. So my relatively normal day in December is one we will always remember. Some of us like things to be ordered and predictable, while others crave excitement and newness. But at the moment, I suspect there are many of us who would like the term to be starting as it normally would, with us all together in school, seeing each other face to face, having lunch together, and sitting around in the houses and so on. But at the moment, sadly, it just can't be like that. But it will be again soon. We just need to stick with it, work together, support each other, and be kind to others across our community. In those dark and worrying days around Christmas, I heard someone speaking about the police sergeant Matt Ratana, who was shot looking after a prisoner in a police station in Croydon. By all accounts, he was a thoroughly committed policeman, but the New Zealander was even more committed to his rugby. He was head coach at East Grinstead Rugby Club, and you may have seen that just before Christmas, he was awarded the BBC's Sports Personality Unsung Hero Award for his work supporting young people through rugby. I'm certainly not suggesting that you go out and get a tattoo, but the young man speaking about Matt Ratana had done so. And his tattoo was 6 words that Matt Ratana used to say regularly, which apparently come from a Maori saying, "Be strong, be brave, be patient." And those 6 words spoke to me when things looked rather bleak just before Christmas. And perhaps they'll speak to all of us as we think ahead to the next few weeks of lockdown. Be strong, be brave, be patient, and things will be back to normal before we know it. And finally, in our kitchen, we have a little piece of carved wood hanging from a hook with a saying that's similar. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you think, and loved more than you know. Remember that too. We will get through these uncertain times. We are certainly capable of finding ways through the difficulties, and those around us, the friends we have, and perhaps the friends we didn't know we have, want us to be okay. Have a really good term. Work hard, embrace the challenges we have, and never be afraid to ask for help when you need it. And before we know it, sunnier days will be here once again. Thank you.